Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 453. Yes. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It's September the 10th, 2019, and for some reason, when Laura was doing the intro, I kept thinking, welcome to the internet. I don't know why.
Because it's the 90s.
That's where my head is, apparently.
Well, you're getting new internet outside.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That's true. If you hear the dogs barking...
Or loud noises, because
yeah,
that's been happening.
C-Spire is new to this area, and they're burying fiber in the neighborhood, which is great, because right now Comcast, or Xfinity, has a monopoly on high speed in this area, so C-Spire, it's good, but the dogs have been barking all day. So, anyway, I have a bajillion things on the needles, and that's it.
Do it.
So.
Oh, do you want me to go first because
Yeah.
you have a bajillion things? Okay. I have 2 things on the needles, right? Yep. I have 2. I am still working on some socks out of Desert Vista Dye Works in the Zombuddy Says Boo colorway. These are being knit on size 0 at ease. And look, y'all, it's almost a whole sock. I had training yesterday all day, and I have training again on Friday. So I managed to get quite a bit of sock knitting done. I like this colorway a lot. So Somebody Says Boo, and it's got like that Halloween orange, then like a decomp zombie green, then black, then her like purpley zombie color. So I'm enjoying it. Where that red is, I'm going to do an afterthought heel, and I'm knitting these from the toe up. So I did a forethought actually heel where you place the yarn before, and then I'll take that yarn out in my class that I teach at Lady Men Fiber Arts. So I was like, yes, while I'm doing this, because I was pondering what heel to knit, I was like, I'll just do a afterthought, where you place the yarn ahead of time, and then I'll have that all set up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
Did you bring my sock?
I think I did. So Leslie left stuff at my house.
Just one sock.
Just one. And Pearl was like, I will guard this for you, Auntie Leslie.
Out of a pair that I cranked tubes.
There you go. Friend.
And so I couldn't do the other one because I couldn't remember where I split for the...
Oh, I would have sent you pictures.
heel. I didn't realize it until last night.
Oh, I still would have sent you pictures.
I was like, whatever, it'll wait.
And then the second thing on my needles is Stevie. This is by Elizabeth Smith. It is linked in the show notes. I've had some people ask for
it's
links.
actually not linked.
It's not linked, but I'll link it.
Here, I'll do it while you're talking.
Okay. So I'm still on the second sleeve. I did get a little bit of knitting done on it this weekend, but not as much as I anticipated because it took me forever to apply some stuff. So I did Elizabeth Smith.
Okay.
This is knit on size 6 needles. I'm using the Addy Flexi Flips. Oh, I lost one of these. That's why I kind of started. But then I found it.
Oh.
So I lost one. They're easy to lose because they're like this. It fell underneath my couch.
It's like a circular needle, but with a cable that's like an inch long.
So, and they legit flip around, which is why they're called Flexi Flips in my mind. These are the XL, so this is a longer length. So they do have like a 5-inch needle tip on them, I feel like. So yeah, I still have half a sleeve left to knit. I got to the second decrease, and then the neckband, and then this will be done. Maybe I'll finish it in time for Lady Men. It's kind of back burner now because the new term has started for House Cup.
Imaginary points.
Yep, so imaginary points trump all. And then I'm casting something on the needles, which is actually part of my spinning. So I'm going to wait till we do spinning, and then I'll show you guys what I'm casting on next. So that is all for me on the needles. Those 2 things, the socks and the sweater. So I have one thing that's portable and one thing that's not. Maybe I'll knit on Stevie tonight. We'll see. But then, like, when I get home, I want to spin always. So Stevie is battling with the spinning bug as well. And I finished some stuff, or one thing.
I finished nothing.
But you have lots of things on the needles.
I do. So, thing number 1 that is on the needles is my lounging top in sport weight by Hoki Locatelli.
Awesome. If someone made stitch markers like the Dr. Seuss thing 1, thing 2, and they just did like project 1, project 2.
I'm sure they exist.
I'm sure they do. It'd be so cool.
And you know what Laura needs? Stitch markers.
I just ordered some from Tilting Planet.
Yes, you
because
did.
She's my jam.
So I'm using a sport weight by...
It's the s'mores.
Tennessee Rock and String.
There you go.
And this is the toasted marshmallow
That's
color.
right. I call it s'mores in my head.
So it's white, but with like flecks of sort of a caramelly brown in there. And the lounging top is basically just a shell, a sleeveless top. And
That's by Hohi, right?
By Hohi Locatelli.
Yeah.
And I think it was designed initially for a Madeline Tosh base, but yeah. So it's, when it's not on the cable, it's actually long enough to go under the boobs now.
Cool.
So it's a boob shelf right there.
Nice. How much more do you have to go?
A long way. So I have to go 16 inches, plus or minus, depending on where I want it to hit. Probably I'll go closer to 17 before I do the ribbing, and I've got like 6 inches.
Yeah.
From the where I split for this, or where I joined.
But you don't need to do sleeves on this, right?
I'll do a little slip stitch around the edges just to clean it up. But yeah, I don't have to go back and do sleeves.
And you do have to do a neckband?
I do have to pick up, and it's like 6 rows of garter or something.
Okay.
So it's almost nothing. So yeah, I mean, this will be good for taking to the retreat because it's just stockinette in the round.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. I am alternating skeins. Even though they were dyed at the same time in the same pan, you never know when something's going to pool weirdly, so I'm just alternating.
Yeah, so alternating can keep things from pooling as well as
flashing
and color changing.
Yeah. Also, color is just unpredictable, so even if you dye it in the same pan, there's no guarantee that if you used all of one color or one skein and then went to the next, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference in the skeins. It's just... it's unpredictable that way. Okay, so what else? That's spinning. I am working on this crochet blanket still. This is the double ripple something. It's in the show notes. I cast on the third skein and then realized that I was... so each stripe is like... or each color gives me like a stripe and a half.
Like a sequence and a half. Yeah.
And then I realized that I had cast on with the green, so I had like a big, huge block of green in the middle of this, except it wasn't going to be the middle. It'll be like 2/3 of the way. But I had only gotten a couple rows in, so
you're gonna
I ripped it
rewind
out,
it,
and then I'm just gonna pull from the middle instead of the outside.
Is it from the green? No,
the green was on the outside. That's how I've been using them, just because it's easier. They won't tangle that much. So
how wide is this thing?
Do you have a tape measure?
Well, I have arms.
It's maybe...
it's like 4 foot.
Yeah, 48 inches, somewhere around there.
So are you going to make it 4 foot long, too?
Well, I was thinking of just making it 3, but I think it'll look weird. Like, proportionally, because of the way that the pattern... Yeah, I think I'll probably have to make it 4.
You can have the other cake, too.
So...
less stuff in my house. Look, I'm utilizing my stash by way of Leslie.
Yeah, so that is one thing I worked on a bit this weekend and then had to rip out, so there's that. And then what else do I have? Sorry, my computer's telling me you're not signed into Microsoft. I don't care right now. That's not super important.
Do you use OneDrive for work?
No.
Because we do.
Well, I mean, it's connected, but I use a program called Connected Backup that essentially takes a screenshot of my hard drive every day and any changes. Oh, the socks.
Yeah.
So I swear I brought that up here, but I guess I didn't.
You've got one?
Got one, yeah. I must have left the other one downstairs. So this is one of a pair of socks, and the other one just looks like this. So I've got the toe done, but
it looks exactly like this, but without a heel.
The heel. I've got it in my head to try to figure out a sort of not a true top down or heel flap and turned heel, but something kind of similar to that in an afterthought. I don't know that it's going to work, but I'm going to try to make it work. Just because I prefer that to a short row or to a regular afterthought heel. I just prefer the way it holds my heel better.
The heel flap.
Yeah, so I'm going to try it. I've looked, and
I feel like
Laura Neal has something similar in her procrastinatrix socks. So I'm going to look in her book and see.
I was going to say, I feel like her afterthought heel is much different than other afterthought heels.
With her sock, you knit it toe up, and then you knit from the cuff down, and then you sort of, the heel's the last thing that you do that brings it all together, and then there's some grafting. So I'm going to look and see how that works. Although hers does include, when you're knitting up, it does include gusset increases.
Yeah. So
that would be something that you couldn't accomplish with an afterthought heel. Not easily. So anyway.
It's just not a true afterthought.
Yeah. So it's just something I'm messing around with. I don't know that it'll ever go anywhere. And the last thing that I'm working on, I made decent progress on, is my Il Grande Favorito, which is a pattern by Isabel Kramer. It's an old pattern. 2013. And it's designed to be knit with 2 skeins of sport weight held together, I think.
For like a bulky. Yeah, because the gauge is 14 stitches.
Or a bulky single or sport weight held double. Yeah. So it's just a super simple raglan with a little bit of a high-low hem. Like there's a difference of like 1.5 inches, 2 inches, where the back is a little bit longer than the front. So the last time you saw it, it was here, and now it's here.
What's your note on that stitch marker?
It just says when I restarted it.
Oh.
I just made a note of when I restarted it. I used Tyvek. This is the thing I used the Cricut to cut out.
Oh, yeah.
And that way I can write on these when I restarted it. So I've got like 9 or 10 inches of progress, and I've just started the short rows for the bottom. So there's not a ton left. It's only about 17 inches from the bottom of the underarm to where it ends in the back. So it's not a super long top. And that's it. So I had 4 things kind of to talk about, but none of them are done.
Yeah. Well, but you made good progress on everything.
Well, for having 4 days since we last recorded.
And that sock's going to, that's going to have some good progress. That's almost done.
Oh, Hunter came out with a new slipper pattern I want to knit.
Yeah, I know. I tried to test it, and I was too late.
But you have to do a gauge swatch.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn it.
She has a really interesting article on her blog about
how the tariffs are affecting book production.
Yeah, which is really interesting. Mm-hmm. From a publisher's, not that I'm a publisher, but someone who deals with people who publish all the time's point of view.
Oh, look at that little thing. It's so cute.
So cute. So this is a baby bear hat. It is out of Nashua Cilantro, which is a cotton polyester blend, which was very, very rough on my hands. And I started by knitting it on size 4s, thinking they were 6s, because I had thought I switched the tips, because it's a worsted weight, and I had not. So then I ripped the whole, I was like up to here too. It made me mad. No. So I ripped back out and re-knit. And then with the hat, the top decreases, I thought my 6 double points were being used something else. So I thought I was using 7s and I was using 8s. Whatever. I don't think it looks bad. I think it'll all block out.
I would never have even noticed.
The little bear ears I did on 5s.
The hat of many needles.
Of very, very many needles. So it's a cotton polyester blend. I'm sure it's not in production anymore. I think I bought it. I think it's part of what I took my wages in when I worked at That Yarn Shop.
Mm-hmm. That was what it was called, That Yarn Shop.
Yeah. That was the name of it. So, yeah. It's cute. It's going to go in the long range gift bin because the baby thing, what is that called? Oh, can you scroll down on the show notes?
The baby thing?
Yeah, no.
The layette thing?
Yes. I can't remember the name, and I want to say its name correctly. Hearts and Hands baby layette bag donation. They want things that are not like gender specific, if possible. Not that gender has a color, but
right.
Some people feel that gender has a color. So anyway, super cute. It's gonna go in the to be gifted pile because I have multiple pregnant coworkers again.
You always have multiple pregnant coworkers.
I know.
That is a static thing.
It is. So this will go in with that. It's I feel like it's just newborn size. It's like 12 inches around, so it's quite wee. It would be like a home from the hospital hat. So yeah, not super great pattern, but it was a free pattern. So yeah, there's like 15 baby bear hats. Yeah. So I feel like I should knit my way through all of them and give you updates on which one is the best.
Will that happen? Hold your breath.
It might. So that was mainly on size 6 needles, but sometimes 5s and sometimes 8s. And then for spinning, the first thing that I finished was I spun some Cormos, natural brown Cormo from Bumblebee Acres. This was 2 ounces, not 4. They're...
Wow, you wound it already.
Yeah, because I swatched with it.
For the Hobie thing.
Their Cormo had been mistagged, so I had 2 ounces, and out of those 2 ounces I got 270 yards. And then I'm pairing that with some Hello yarn, but I don't know the fiber composition, so these two will go together. Also, I did an amazing job winding this skein. And this is around 650 yards. So they're pretty comparable when it comes to grist. And I am going to stripe them for the Spectrum shawl by Joji Locatelli. I'm going to knit that on size 4 needles. I had swatched with both of them and then ripped them back out. So I have my signature 4s. And that is living in a fat squirrel bag. This was the SSK bag this year. So yeah, that's all set, ready to go whenever I finish my sweater and I have time to cast on. And then the other thing that I spun, I need to rewind this into a, like, retwist it up, is this. This is Three Waters Farm in the charcoal and maple colorway. It is 485 yards of a 2-ply. I think it was Falkland.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's pretty though.
Maybe not Falkland. Maybe it was something else. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. Lots of yardage. It'll be a good thing to stripe with something else or use for like a cowl around the neck. It's a pretty soft wool. Falkland? Can't remember now. That's driving me nuts. So there's that. I also need to tag it before I photograph it and submit it for House Cup. This is my first class for House Cup. The baby hat's going to be for Quidditch, because Quidditch this time is, actually it's due in a couple days, and it's less than 150 yards.
If you have no idea what she's talking about, it's a group on Ravelry called the
Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup.
And they do these sort of
challenges,
goal-oriented challenges where you get imaginary points that mean nothing.
Yep.
I like to demean Laura's goals.
So that is what I've accomplished. It says that you spun as well. Do you want to talk about your spinning?
I did spin. You see how Laura sounds very skeptical about that? Like,
you sent me pictures, but I was spinning on my Matchless, and you were spinning on your Matchless. Like, we were Matchless twins.
Yes. Although mine is older, and like Laura's has got the quick release thing on the front of the flyer, and mine does not. Mine's got the turn. I mean, you can get it. You can switch them out. It's not like I couldn't buy the new, but I don't know.
Can you? I don't think you can.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that you could probably buy the new front part. I don't know. I don't care because it works fine the way it is. Anyway, so I am spinning from Spotted Circus this ribbon candy, which is an 80/20 merino silk. Spider Circus is run by Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, we're going to see her at the Kate retreat.
Whose name I will never forget because it is Elizabeth Taylor. This is what it looks like in the braid. So
I'm hoping her
nice
alpacas have their babies before she has to come. That is really pretty.
This is what it looks like on the bobbin. So this bobbin was given to me by Jessie.
Little Hip Kitty.
Little Hip Kitty, thank you. She does all the gorgeous weaving. And she does 3D printing. I don't know if she has her own printer or uses the local library one. I can't remember.
She has her own printer, I believe.
And so she printed these shocked bobbins with little sheep in them. And this was one of the rejects. This was a usable reject, is what she called it.
Yeah.
So my problem, or what I'm trying to figure out, is this looks like a melted crayon box, right? Like there's so many colors. Here, let me get up closer.
Oh, on the bobbin, like the fiber?
Yeah. And that's not like a criticism. It's a feature, not a bug. There's so many colors in it. So this is 2 of the 4 ounces, and this is the other 2. So I was going to spin them and then apply them together, but I think it'll be so busy. I think instead what I'm going to do is put this back on the wheel and spin the other 2 ounces on top of it and then apply like a solid, like a gray
like a dark blue,
or navy
maybe?
Or something.
Yeah, that would work.
And then apply them together so that it's more of a heathered look.
I think that'd be cool.
So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Now I just have to remember which end of the bobbin I had.
Were you in double drive or Scotch tension?
Scotch tension. I prefer that to double drive.
So this was in the back.
Yeah.
So with Scotch tension, the larger end of the bobbin is in the back because you want to have the most. That's where the break band goes over, and you want to have the most inches that are being affected by that. And then with double drive, you have to use the smaller end.
Yeah, I think it was this way just because of the way I built the fiber. But I took a picture because I sent it to Laura, so I can always refer back to that.
Yeah.
If I have a question, but I'm pretty sure it was the short end was in the front.
Because it wouldn't have worked if you had the short end in the back.
Yeah, it would, because the brake band would have just gone on this end.
Yeah, but it doesn't pull on as well.
Yeah, but it still would have worked. Anyway, so I'll spin the other 2 ounces of this. I don't know if it'll be done next week or not. I just spin as I have time during the day. Sometimes if I'm stuck on a query and I can't figure out what the hell is going on and beating my head against the wall, I'll just take 5 minutes and just spin.
I think that's amazing.
And
I wish I could do that at my work.
Go back to it with a fresh eyes. I spent 3 days trying to figure this specific query out, and this is in SQL for you IT nerds. But I'm not amazing in SQL, but I know the basic concepts and I can Google and figure most stuff out. But it was SQL paired with this internal written monitoring system, so there were some special keywords and characters that had to be in certain places that I didn't know had to be there. So I beat my head against the wall for 3 days and then brought it up to the guy who's over it today, and he's like, oh, well, you need to do this and this. 2 minutes and it worked, and I was like, I'm gonna murder you. You have to tell people that's how it works.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my IT rant. For books, I've been reading the Rowan Harbor series. So I finished the first one, which was...
She's got a new book that just came out this past Tuesday.
Blackbird and the Reeds. Yeah, but it was a different series.
Yeah,
right?
it's a new series that she's just starting.
And then this one is Wolf and the something. It's Jessie is the character. I forget what it's called. Wolf and the something. And I've read up to the 5th book before, but it was 6 months ago. So I'm rereading them.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been reading. What about you?
I read Dead Voices today by Catherine Arden. I wrote it with me. Boom. So this is a middle grade novel. It is the sequel to Small Spaces. And one of our viewers went to my Amazon wish list and bought some from my library, which was such an awesome surprise. And my kids were super excited.
You're going to have to put your Amazon wish list on the show notes.
Oh.
This is for her school, not for her personally.
That is true. So, I love this. Do you see the smoke is in the shape of a skull? Like it's devouring? So cool. These covers are really neat. The Small Spaces one's really cool, too.
It took me a minute, but now I can see it.
So, in Small Spaces, I book talked that last 2 weeks ago when Jess was there.
Here,
It's like a middle grade horror, and Ollie is the main character, and she has to defeat the smiling man in order to kind of escape with her two friends. And in this one, her and her two friends, her father wins like a ski vacation. So they go up to this resort, which used to be an orphanage that was turned into like a ski lodge, and become trapped there. And they're told not to listen to the ghost voices, the dead voices. This is don't listen up there. But they do listen. They do not listen to the people who tell them to not listen. And there's some reoccurring characters that occur. But yeah, overall really good. Quick read. 236 pages. This one went way faster than Small Spaces because Small Spaces had all the background of building up to the characters. This one, it's kind of like, you know what happened to Ollie's mom. You know what happened in the past. You could still read this on its own, but much better with Small Spaces because of those reoccurring characters. So yeah, super fast. I kind of wish it had been a longer read. I think there were some aspects that could have been delved into a little bit deeper. But trying to think if I was buying this for my library, some things to be aware of. They do use like a Ouija board, so to talk to the dead voices. So that is something that might be something that some people object to. But that was basically it. Good middle grade book. I love some good middle grade horror that's spooky, but not like it.
They can handle it.
Yeah. So a little bit deeper than like Goosebumps level spooky, but not super duper spooky.
There's a movie that's out or is about to come out that's based on a book that I read from Mrs. McFadden's library, which was my middle school library.
Might still be there.
Yeah.
Which is my library. Yeah. There was one librarian between the two of us who was only there for a year, so.
But it was called like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes, I love Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Out now.
Yeah, I knew that. There's also more Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Well, Scary Stories to Tell, the one that had like the beginning of the book, there was this illustration of this giant floating head and a little person.
Yes, and that's the one with the hook hand.
Yeah.
Where the car breaks down and the person's flashing lights. Yeah. I read that when I was in middle school as well. That book is still in the library, by the way. Because good, like, scary books, they never go out of fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I think I checked that book out a couple of times. I remember liking it.
I did get, like, there was an updated version that came out around 10 years ago. And so I purchased that when that came out. But yeah. That's in Fairy Tales and Folklore section. 300s.
So, we talked about, and for the past couple of weeks, we've talked a little bit about Hearts and Hands Baby Layette bag donation. This is something that's being done to help the Indigenous women in Canada. So there's a link on our page if you want. We're not associated in any way. It's just something that we're personally donating to.
Subculture yarn.
Yeah. What else? So Stash Dash is over.
It is.
We locked the threads, and now Laura and I take a couple weeks and we go through each thread, and so each of us favorite certain things.
Around like 5 of our favorite
and
posts
so
from each.
Then we'll go over them on the podcast and show them to you guys.
Yeah.
And we gift patterns and stuff to people as we go through. So
definitely. So make sure your wish lists are up to date.
And then there's a fail along.
There is. We do fail along once a month for our Patreon sponsors. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be this Saturday, which is the
14th.
Thank you. The 14th at 4 p.m. Central Time, which is the time that we are at. And we are going to make fall/Halloween wreaths.
Yes.
If we can get our acts together.
Wreath, like the thing you hang on a door.
Yes.
I feel like I always say that word wrong.
I probably do.
No, not you, me.
And then our annual Halloween Craft All the Things starts September 23rd through October 31st.
It is super cheater friendly.
Yeah, all you have to do is you're going to post in a thread of what you've made, and there'll be a chatter thread as well. And it can be anything that has anything to do with Halloween.
Or fall.
Yeah, make a pumpkin spice latte. There you go. Make some s'mores. There you just have to sell it to us.
Sew your kid a Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah. Halloween socks, one of my favorites.
Sew some pot holders to take your Halloween goodies out of the oven. Golden.
Roast some pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
If you are making things that are multiples, like pumpkin seeds, you're only allowed one entry, or brownies, or whatever.
Per type of item.
Yeah.
Or like finished
thing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we're making it cheater friendly, but you don't have to go crazy. You don't necessarily win anything. Like,
yeah. Well, we usually
we'll
do some prizes, and if you are interested in donating a prize to give away, just let us know.
Mm-hmm. If you're a crafter, maker, an indie, just contact us.
Yeah.
What else? Oh,
I think that's about it.
Yep, that's it. So it's a little bit shorter this week because we're trying to get back on track to record in the early part of the week. But
And I have stuff this week on Thursday.
It's not all about you.
Well, it is about me because I have a football game and a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
So there is no way that Thursday was going to happen.
Yeah.
But we could have recorded on Friday again, but Leslie specifically said that she wanted to record earlier in the week this week.
I wanted to try to get us back
towards
that
totally
track.
on board with that because next week we are home Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday afternoon we are leaving for the
Knitting at the Estate event.
I kept in my head I keep saying Kate's then I have to
acronym is Kate, and so this is the Leading Men Fiber Arts retreat. It's their first one, and it's in Monticello, Illinois,
at the Allerton Estate. I just looked it up because I have to do mileage. But yeah, we're excited about that, and we hope to see some of you there.
Yes.
There will be a great market, including Elizabeth's Spotted Circus, and Knitterly Things will also be there.
Yeah, and of
so
course
there
Steve,
goes my money.
Leading Men, Steve and Andy will be there.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's going to be lots of fun, and we cannot wait. I'm going to get a massage one day. I'm super excited about that.
It's going to be my first retreat in years where it's just a retreat for me.
Yeah.
It's just a retreat.
When was the last time we did that? We went to
Madrona, but that's not really a retreat.
Yeah.
That's,
We've gone to marketplaces, but not retreats.
I mean, I can't think of spring fling maybe?
Surely I've gone to some to teach after that, but that's not really.
Yeah. But just to be an attendee, I feel like Spring Fling was the last one.
Yeah, maybe.
And there's nothing wrong with, I find value in going as, the Knit Girls or whatever, but it's nice to not always have to do that.
I mean, we're still the Knit Girls, whether we go or not, but we're not putting on the retreat, which will be a nice change for Leslie. I'll still be working because I'm teaching.
You're always
But that's
working.
fun. Tell my boss that, will you please? We went over our new evaluation stuff yesterday. That was the meeting that I was at.
Yeah.
And it's like a 20 different things that I'm supposed to demonstrate through 3 observations, which is not terrible, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So we have to he and I have to sit down and discuss some things, which will be fun. I hate evaluations, y'all.
I do too.
I just want to do my job. I don't want to self-evaluate. I know
that's
I have
thing.
to set goals.
I don't mind doing an evaluation. I don't mind being the recipient of an evaluation because I feel like I do my job. But I really
and there's always room to grow.
Self-evaluating because I don't want to brag and be like, dude, I've knocked it out of the park this year.
I feel like that's a woman thing, too.
It definitely. The need to make yourself smaller, make yourself humble, don't get too many big ideas, that sort of thing. Definitely is a female trait. But my boss asked me on Monday, we had a one-on-one, and he's like, so what'd you do this weekend? And I was like, well, I spent 8 hours cleaning my craft room and you can barely tell. And he's like, I'm sorry, we're going to have to unpack that. You spent what? Cleaning what? And so I had to explain to him,
But it looks so much better
the bonus
here.
room, the biggest room in the house, like that's where my craft stuff is. And he's like, so you've got that much stuff, huh? And I was like, dude, my stuff is everywhere. Like, you have no idea. He's
This is
like,
a lifestyle
yeah,
at this point.
why do you have so much stuff? Well, I've been doing a podcast for almost 10 years. Really? Are you on iTunes? What's iTunes? Yes, I'm on iTunes. Like, and so then we started talking about Patreon, and like he's a gamer, so there are like Twitch feeds he supports.
Yeah.
And luckily he didn't ask for the name of the podcast because that was not something I was going to share. But
Aww.
I like to keep those two lives very
Separate?
strictly separate.
I like to keep my Ms. Linneman life somewhat separate
Yeah.
from my La life.
When they did that like getting to know you thing like a couple months ago where I had to post a picture and it was me holding this like crocheted hippo or something, I got an email from a manager guy in Vegas and he's like, dude, that crocheted hippo is awesome. I want one. And I linked him to an Etsy listing for one and I was like, I'm not making it.
Blink, blink, blink.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, we've managed to ramble out for another 5 minutes. You guys have a lovely week, and we will talk to you either this weekend at the Fail Along or next week.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.